headlines. Voting ongoing as Nigerians vote in presidential and National Assembly elections. Election ad hoc staff attacked in Gombe. Impressive voter turnout, but late arrival of election materials characterized exercise in Sokoto. And on the foreign scene, at least 13 villagers killed in Mali in suspected terrorist attack. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. Voting is ongoing as Nigerians go to the polls to elect president and members of the National Assembly. President Muhammadu Buhari voted at Sarkinyara polling unit in Daura, Katsina State. Buhari expressed satisfaction with the process so far, reiterating his pledge to give Nigerians free, fair and credible elections.
Nigerians should make sure that they have been respected. The candidate they want to vote for, they are allowed to vote for him. It's a pity that only one woman candidate that has come like from Adamawa State. So the woman should kindly follow our ABC presidential candidate, and everybody knows it.
Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has cast his vote in his home state in Adamawa, saying he is optimistic of emerging victorious at the end of the exercise. The former vice president, who spoke to journalists after casting his vote, said he was satisfied with the conduct so far. Atiku is one of the frontrunners in today's presidential election.
A little late, but I think they got here at around 9:15 a.m. and we've started voting. It's peaceful, it's organized, and it's very free and transparent. I feel I've exercised my right as a Nigerian, and I'm hopeful for a good outcome for my party.
Don't sell your vote, and more importantly, understand we're all one people. End of the day, whoever wins is our leader.
And in Lagos, presidential candidate for the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, cast his vote at 10:20 a.m. at Ward 3 polling unit 85, Alausa, Ikeja. The APC candidate arrived the polling unit alongside his wife, Oluremi Tinubu. The INEC official earlier announced that 324 persons registered to vote in the ward. Voting is supposed to close at exactly 2:30 p.m., after which no accredited electorate will be allowed to vote again. And the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi voted at his polling unit PU 019 Umudi Makasi Square, Agulu, Anambra State, expressing optimism as the polls got underway. The presidential candidate is confident that he will emerge victorious if the poll is conducted in a free, fair and credible atmosphere. And to Gombe State now, where an election ad hoc staff was attacked by suspected hoodlums in the state. The incident occurred at Tudunwada Primary School in Gombe Metropolis. The State Commissioner of Police, Okwo Etim, confirmed the attack to the News Agency of Nigeria. The police boss, however, pledged that security men will be escorting election officials throughout the state, describing the attack as unfortunate. Labour Party Vice Presidential candidate Yusuf Dattibaba Ahmed cast his vote at voting polling unit 021 Kofar Gidan Irokaya, Tudunwada, Zaria, where voting commenced at around 8:50 in the morning. Voters came in their numbers, though women turnout was low at the polling unit. Baba Ahmed speaks to reporters on his assessment of the process.
Skipping, so to put it, that as long as the elections are adjudged to be free, fair and just. So keep that in mind. However, even to the contrary of that, we have never been the kind of people that will incite anything besides peace. But we also insist firmly on justice being done.
And what's your message to Nigerians generally?
Well, before the end of these elections, what we have been saying before the close of campaigns, and of course this is not a campaign, look far and wide, look deeply, elect whom your senses tells you is the best leader for yourself, devoid of considerations of religion and ethnicity. Vote competence, capacity, character, and compassion.
Meanwhile, the governor of Delta State and vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, has cast his vote at the Egoma Primary School, Ward 2, Unit 17, Ika Northeast local government area of the state. Okowa said the election is going on very peacefully. He said the PDP is a prepared team, a prepared party, and are ready to take charge over the affairs of Nigeria.
I just cast my ballot, and I thank God that both voting centers here, we have like here, and we thank God that the voting is very peaceful and everything is working, everything is on course. We definitely are very certain that the People's Democratic Party will win the elections nationally because we put in a lot of work, and we have put out a document there, a document are confident with Nigerians, and we believe what we have spoken to Nigerians. We are not deceitful in what we do. We are prepared. A prepared team, a prepared party to take charge over the affairs of Nigeria. We do know exactly that at the moment, Nigeria is not working the way it ought to work. But we are confident that working with all Nigerians, the private sector, the public sector, and all our people across Nigeria, working in a united manner, that we are able to tackle all the issues of insecurity, the issue of the poor economy that we are suffering from, the restructuring of this country, the education of our children, which is key, the fact that we need to create jobs for our nation, the fact that we need to develop powers to every part of this country and to ensure that the states have more fun. We are confident in what we do, and we thank God for the very peaceful elections. I must truly say thank you to INEC for what we see at the moment, and we say thank you to Mr. President for ensuring that there is fairness in this election.
And now to Sokoto State, where late arrival of voting materials characterized the exercise in the state. At over 40% of polling units within Sokoto metropolis, elections started quite late. Yusho Adam, who went round some polling units, observed that though there was a massive turnout of voters as most of the polling units visited, voters were left stranded as the electoral officers and election materials did not arrive in time. At Tudunwada A and B polling units, some eligible voters said they came to the polling units around 7 a.m., but up till 9 a.m., election materials were not supplied to the areas.
This is the biggest problem we have with regards to this election today. The problem is with the election materials, because up till now, the officials are not here. You can see people, everybody is waiting. Some people have even returned home. As for me, I am not going anywhere. Even if it will take us till evening, we will stay. This is my polling unit, so I have to wait for the materials to arrive and cast my vote. This is not my first time of voting, but we've never experienced such problems. INEC announced that their staff will be at polling units by 8 a.m., that all the election materials have been distributed 2 days ago. But see, to no avail, we are calling on them not to fail us.
Also, at Sarki Muslimi A001 and 002 ward, voters were left stranded waiting for the arrival of INEC officials and election materials. The situation is the same at Dalatu ward, Tudunwada B and C wards respectively. Some of the voters who spoke to Trust TV expressed disappointment over the late arrival of both election materials and officials. Despite the late commencement of polls at most of the polling units, voters who spoke to Trust TV insist that they will wait till the arrival of the materials in order to cast their votes.
We came out early, but up till now, we are here waiting for the officials to show up. We were here since 8 a.m. We are going to wait for them to show up. We will wait until evening. I am calling on those responsible to do the needful. Please, they should remember that people are here waiting for them. We need security too.
Speaking to Trust TV, Aminu Bodinga expressed satisfaction on the arrangements made by INEC and security, as according to him, the atmosphere was conducive. Bodinga, however, decried the late arrival of election materials and malfunctioning of some voting machines. He said they have reported the issues to INEC and they have promised to address challenges.
Late arrival of the materials and the malfunctions of the machine. Yes, at least some areas, some polling units, we experience when you flip your fingerprints, it will not show yellow, abundant green. Green danger to indicate that it accepted it. So these are challenges. But generally, I think we can adjust. So far now, it's peaceful.
No incident of malfunction of bimodal voter accreditation system was reported in the polling units visited.
Voters in Benin came out to exercise their civic rights in the 2023 elections. Election officials, made up of National Youth Service Corps members, arrived at Emokwai Primary School, Unit 25, Oredu, with election materials. Accreditation of registered voters commenced immediately. Usman Bello reports that bimodal voter accreditation systems were working and no incident was recorded at the polling units. And in Niger State, reported cases of late arrival of electoral officials and voting materials at most polling units characterized the election in Minna, the state capital. In other parts of the state, Abubakar Akuti reported that some voters that automatically relocated to decongest their previous polling units could not locate their new polling units. One of the presiding officers explained that the delay was caused by late arrival of security personnel to escort them with sensitive materials. Still with us on Trust TV News Update, still ahead. Activities are low in motor parks. We'll show you why. Details of this and more after the break. Stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
That's great. Good to see you.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now let's take another look at our top stories. Voting ongoing as Nigerians vote in presidential and National Assembly elections. And elections ad hoc staff attacked in Gombe. Now, earlier, we told you the presidential candidate for the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, cast his vote at 10:20 a.m. at Ward 3, polling unit 85, Alausa Ikeja in Lagos. The APC candidate arrived at the polling unit alongside his wife, Oluremi Tinubu. The INEC official earlier announced that 324 persons registered to vote in the ward. Voting is supposed to close at exactly 2:30 p.m., after which no accredited electorate will be allowed to vote.
How certain of victory are you, sir? How certain of victory are you, sir?
Mr. Tinubu! Mr. Tinubu, would you congratulate anybody who wins the election if it's not you? If it doesn't happen to be you, if you do not win the election, would you congratulate another person? He's going to be here.
Also, the presidential candidate of the New Niger People's Party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, voted in Kwankwaso village in Madobi local government area of Kano State. The candidate expressed delight with the conduct of the election. And in other news, victims of gender-based violence have been encouraged to report the act to seek redress. Stakeholders believe speaking against perpetrators of the violence can help reduce the menace. Abbas Alibi reports.
All reported cases of sexual and gender-related violence are a daily occurrence. An activist against sexual and gender violence, Alison Data Pido, is worried that if allowed to continue, victims will suffer psychological trauma and depression.
Found out from research that a lot of people who have been abused or who are suffering or who have been victimized are unable to speak up, are unable to come out and report or even admit that such a horrible thing had happened to them. And so there are many reasons for that, we know. So in order to protect the anonymity of people who need these services, who need help in a traumatic situation, we came up with this idea that if we had an interactive response, a voice response system that people might call and get the attention that they deserve.
She said Lagos and Borno states recorded higher rates of sexual and gender-based violence.
First of all, for Lagos and Borno, as Lagos is a high population, and the fact that sexual and gender-based violence is very, very rampant. We have very high figures. I'm sure they already told you the numbers. And Borno, because in the last 10 years, in the last decade, we've suffered the incursion of extremist groups, like, for example, Boko Haram. And, when they took over villages and disrupted lives there, many people became internally displaced in their own country. They lived in camps and places like that with nothing. And so were easy praise for people to abuse. So again, Borno is suffering, it's having very high rates of gender-based violence, especially among IDPs. So
Feto Ajibodu of Cheche Yara Foundation said, with a platform, survival of rape and gender-based violence will have access to quick response.
So we're proudly partnered with ADA for children who have been abused to get access to the support that they need through our child helpline. We provide services for children that have been abused, both boys and girls, services such as legal aid, medical services, psychotherapy, shelter needs, and rescue support.
An interactive voice response solution stakeholders says can go a long way to help the victims particularly in the southwest state of Lagos and the northern eastern state of Borno. Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, in Lagos.
Meanwhile, travellers face difficulty paying transport fares at motor parks in Abuja as the unavailability of the new Naira notes remains, even up till the eve of the general elections. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal visits Jabi Motor Park to find out how commercial transporters cope with the Naira scarcity.
The Central Bank of Nigeria commenced circulation of redesigned currency on December 15th. As far as the Apex Bank is concerned, the old 500 and 1,000 Naira notes cannot be swapped anymore since the February 10th, except the hold 200 Naira. The aim, according to the bank, is to address rising inflation and economic stability. Motor parks are not exempted from the Naira scarcity being experienced by Nigerians. A cross-section of passengers said electronic payment platforms that provide relief are also overwhelmed.
People that are entering our motor now say there is no money cash, it affects them. They go send money, the money they go say they don't hang. Now who hang the money? Whether na bank hang and whether na POS, we don't know. I go work and go house with my leg, without nothing. So I don't know what we will do. We want to talk about the police again. What if children go show up for us? Make them know what they will do, because the thing they just talk to another thing. I don't know for this country where we go. I don't know where we are going. Whether we will go front or back, I don't know.
Right from Imo State, I transferred an amount of money to my driver, but up till now, yes, I'm staying in Abuja. I transferred the money since in Imo State, but till we reach here, he has not gotten the alert, and that is why I'm here.
I use POS. There's no cash. There's no network.
Like yesterday in Port Harcourt, before I get 10,000 naira, it's 15,000 naira. Before I can get 10,000 naira cash, so it's not reliable. We just to manage it so that we can get money.
Since I was born, this is my time experiencing cashless in Nigeria, and that shows a very bad government, because a lot of people are suffering because of this cashless issue. For more than 3 weeks now, people are suffering. No money, no food. You cannot afford even to buy mineral or buy bottled water, or even to shave. You cannot afford it. And someone have money in his account, if you don't have any access of the account.
Commercial drivers and passengers want the government to fix the problem and make the new note available to allow people move freely and participate in the forthcoming elections. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now for a look at the foreign scene, where at least 13 civilians have been killed in an attack blamed on terrorists in central Mali, local officials said on Friday. The attack in Kani Bonzon on Thursday was not far from the border with northern Burkina Faso, where at least 70 soldiers and a dozen others have been killed in less than a week in multiple attacks. The Islamic State group claimed responsibility for one of those attacks, which killed at least 51 soldiers. One local official told AFP News that the terrorists burned huts and granaries and took 3 people away in Kani Bonzon. Locals demonstrated in the town on Friday demanding for more security. Mali has been plunged into a deep security and political crisis since the outbreak of independence and jihadist insurgencies in the north in 2012. And in sports, the Nigerian community in Luanda, Angola gave Rivers United a rousing welcome on Friday as they mobilized in support for the team ahead of Sunday's CAF Confederations Cup clash against daring club Motema Pembe of Congo Democratic Republic. The players and their officials arrived on Friday morning and were warmly received by the Nigerian community in the southern African country. The Pride of Rivers were later hosted by the Nigerian ambassador to Angola, Monique Ekpong. Rivers United are second in the Group B with 3 points from 2 games. DC Motema Pembe sit third with 2 points after drawing their 2 games. ASEC Mimosa and Diables Noirs will clash in the other group game. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.